Kia ora, my paranormal, cryptozoological and ufological friends. So I want to make an offer that you can't refuse. Well, you can refuse, actually. It's a time-limited offer because, I could get overwhelmed with this. And also, well, let me explain. Let me start at the beginning. So I have an interest in the paranormal and the mysterious. I've covered the topic in various videos on this channel. You can check them out. They're on a playlist altogether, so you can find them easily. And I also have an interest in deception, not in deceiving people, but in detecting deception. And the fact that I'm rubbing my ear doesn't mean that I'm lying, by the way. That's kind of, body language doesn't work that way. I've done a video on body language as well. And I have recently trained in something called statement analysis. Now, statement analysis is something that's used by police in various different countries, law enforcement agencies and intelligence agencies to detect deception in written statements. Now, the written statements can start life as written statements, or they can be transcripts of spoken word. So somebody can, this could be, so often is the contents of a police interview. And it's fascinating. It's really, really interesting. So I've done a course with a guy called Markie, who's one of the leaders in the field, and he's a intelligence and police interviewer. Really good course, and using one of the great things about it is it was using all real material. So all the examples and all the exercises weren't just kind of made up. They were all kind of real statements, and therefore we know what the outcome was, whether the person was convicted or acquitted. So it's about analysing the words that people use, but it also includes punctuation as well. If it's starts life as a written subject, includes things like pauses. You look at pronouns. Every word that someone's uses basically you analyse. You go through line by line. So this isn't something that will definitively tell you whether someone's lying or not. There isn't anything that can do that. Even lie detectors, polygraphs don't do that. Polygraphs aren't a reliable source. They don't use them in the UK. I don't know if they use them in New Zealand, Aotearoa. They use them in America. But it's a tool for interviewing. So some countries actually I believe will accept it as evidence in court as well. But for generally speaking, and I think this is wise, is that it's a tool for interviewing, so that it gives you some directions, some places to go back to. So it will flag up where you might need to go back and ask some more questions, or where you might need to direct a forensic investigation or go and interview somebody else, another witness. I believe in it, and it's interesting actually because obviously my background is I'm a psychotherapist, and actually this is much closer to psychoanalysis than I expected it to be. It's working with basically the principles of the unconscious mind. It does use things like the classic Freudian slip and things like that, but there's a whole technical aspect to it. So there's a very lengthy kind of process whereby for analysis there are key things that you look at and examine and interpret in key ways. Say interpret, they really, we say it's not about interpreting. What it's about is, and that this is kind of the philosophy behind it, if you like, is that actually it's very hard for human beings to lie. We don't like lying, although we lie a lot. The evidence is that we lie every day. But the way they define a lie is things like an omission, so it's like, how are you? And you say, oh, fine, that's a lie. And lying, if you talk to one of the world's top behavioural experts, Mark Bowden, he often says that lying is one of our best and most important social skills, and we all need to know when to lie, when to recognise a lie, and when to ignore a lie, which I think is quite interesting. But generally speaking, we're uncomfortable telling untruths. We don't like outright denying things, and we don't like, I say we, I'm talking about people that are lying here. So people that are people that are in a situation where honesty may not be to their best advantage, let's say, and who wish to conceal the truth from people, tend to do it in quite indirect ways and quite roundabout ways, and will avoid certain ways of outright denial. So this is really good for a statement of denial. Somebody you confront somebody with, did you do X, and then the way that they respond to that is really interesting and tells you a lot. So I'm not going to say too much about the statement analysis here, because there's loads of information about it. You can look at the guy on YouTube that I go to for when I want to watch statement analysis videos is a guy called Martin Decoder. So check out his channel if you want to find out more about it in principle. I'll be starting to do content on statement analysis as I learn it more. There's also Peter Hyatt. He's a big noise in statement analysis as well, and he's got quite a big YouTube presence. And it's kind of reasonably well known. So there's the Wikipedia entry for statement analysis, so you can look it up there. So it's not something that was invented yesterday. There are differing views as to how effective it is. I don't think it's been extensively researched within academia and peer reviewed and all that kind of thing, but it's been used very effectively by people who need effective tools. So intelligence and law enforcement agencies don't want to piss around, if excuse my French. They want to use techniques that are useful and effective, and this is so. But the thing I really want to reiterate, and I might even say this again before the end of this video, is it's not a tool that can tell you whether somebody's lying or not. It's a tool that can say, oh, what about this, and oh, what about that, and it can. You can kind of solve a case with it. I mean, one of the exercises that we did was just a statement from a security guard after some money went missing in the premises that he was responsible for. And just through looking at his statement, where he really didn't give very much away in terms of the black and white, if you actually read between the lines, you could work out, exactly, who committed the crime, what the crime was, and how it was done. It was all given away, and it could all be detected by statement analysis. And I'm quite proud of myself that I did. I picked up there was one aspect of it I didn't pick up on. And that was that there were 3 people involved. I thought there were 2 people involved, but no, it's quite amazing. It's pretty cool. Okay, so why am I talking about statement analysis to my spooky, UFO-y, cryptozoology, paranormally friends? Well, I thought we could help each other in a way, because I want to practice this. I want to really hone my skills, and I want to work on stuff that's real. And I thought, wouldn't this be a fantastic thing to apply to paranormal witness statements of paranormal? I'm not going to say it all again. All those things, because we're that's kind of like a common thing, isn't it? It's like. It's like some of the channels that I follow, like Expanded Perspectives, for example. They read out things that the listeners have sent in their statements. Say, I went camping when I was 8, and blah, 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 in the bushes, blah, 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 blah. But I also thought that people that are on the coalface, if you like, of investigation, so people that, ghost hunters and such like, investigators, you're going to interview people. You're going to have people write to you and email you telling you about what they've witnessed. And I thought it would be really interesting to apply statement analysis to some of these statements. So my offer to you, my proposal, which I think is a win-win, is if you have material of this kind, and maybe you've been thinking, I don't know whether I trust this guy, it's a bit, not sure. Send it to me. and I will apply the statement analysis to it meticulously and send you my findings in writing. So what I will be sending you is not this person's liar pants on fire, or this person's absolutely truthful. It will be a breakdown, sentence by sentence, word by word, with an indication of areas of concern. And also areas, where it's a good statement, it's the kind of statement that somebody that's not being deceptive is likely to make, because we know what that is, we know what the difference is. So I won't be doing this forever, and I don't know how it's going to be, because I get no response, I might get overwhelmed, in which case I might have to say, no, I'm sorry, I can't do it for you. It won't be, like I say, I'll do it. It's got to be in our mutual interest, so I'll continue to do it while I'm learning. When I reach a stage where I feel like I've cut my teeth in terms of real life experience in statement analysis, then I will say no more, and I might charge you. If you want to, send me money for it, then I may be persuaded. So I'm not going to say how long this offer stands for. But it will be kind of time limited. And what I would like you to send is not too long, because it is quite a time-consuming process, because it is so detailed and meticulous. So I'd say what I'm looking for really would be statements of about a side of A4, typed A4. Don't really want anything longer than that. What kind of statements do I need? So it could be an email that somebody sent you. You might record an interview with somebody and transcribe it. That would be brilliant. That would be really good. Don't want anything that has been honed and crafted. So if somebody, for example, a magazine article is likely to have been edited and polished and rewritten several times, and that's not so good. We're looking for something kind of raw and fresh out from the hand or from the mouth. You might want to create new material for me. So you might have people that you want to, people that are approaching you now saying, look, I think my house is haunted, X and Y has happened. One thing you could do to them is you say, well, look, would you do me a favour? Can you just, take 30 minutes just to write a summary of what's going on? In which case, a good instruction to give is write it in pen, not pencil, and if you make an error, just cross it out with one single line. Don't obliterate it with scribbles, because the crossings out are things that we examine as well, and they can be very, very telling. But any written statement that's not been over polished, anything that's not too long. Don't really want anything that's too short either, because there won't be enough to go on. But you could try me. You could try me on a short statement, but I might have to come back to you and say, I can't really tell you very much about this. What you want really is something that's long enough for you to kind of get a baseline for the kind of words and phrases, syntax, and the writing style of the individual. Because one of the things we're looking at is differences and deviations. So if it's too short, we can't capture that. About a page of. It could be a little bit longer. If you've got something that's 1.5 pages, don't say, oh no, can't send that because he said it's got to be 1 page. But I don't want anything much longer than that, really. And you can just email it to me. That's absolutely fine. If it's handwritten, if you can photograph it and send it to me, and if the handwriting is not that clear, if you could send me just bang out a quick type version as well, that would be helpful, because I'm not great at deciphering handwriting. I find that quite tricky sometimes. So there you go. That's the offer, and I think it's just something useful to bring to our world, really, the paranormal world, which I am a part of. It's not my main thing, but I have a big interest in it. I'm neither a skeptic nor a believer, or perhaps I'm both a skeptic and a believer. I certainly believe that weird stuff happens, and it happens on a regular basis. But I also believe that there are maybe a number of causes, and I think it's good to take a very cool and scientific approach to exploring that. Really, that's my view on paranormal stuff. So I've got videos on ghosts. I've got a long video on what ghosts might be, which goes through 1,000,001 different kind of possible explanations of what might cause ghost phenomena. It's not literally 1,000,001, but it's a few. So check those out. Ask me any questions, email me, message me, put comments down below in the comments. Well, that's where you would put the comments. Let's hope we can work together. It would be fantastic, and I think this is something that might add a new element to the field, a new tool. It's not a piece of equipment, but it's a kind of a technique. So yeah, I'm excited. Are you excited? I hope you're excited. Send me some stuff. Thank you for watching. Hopefully be talking to you or exchanging emails with you very soon. Thank you. Rangimarie.